Hey everybody, come on in. It's me, Sean. We're gonna hang out for a little while. We're gonna have a little Yankey Rants. I need to vent. I'm just a teeny bit upset, so I'm gonna try to get some of that off my chest. We're gonna have a Yankey Rants show, so come on in. This is spur of the moment. I'm trying out a new time slot. I'm seeing what works. So we're trying midday, and we're gonna see how that works out. Because as you know, we like to do everything live and interactive. It's just the way we roll. So I'm trying to find out what is the best fit for this show. I'm trying to find this show a home. So let me know what you think about what time of day works out good for a rant show. Because I have a lot of anger. And I'm thinking I might need to get some of that out more often. So come on in and let me know you're here. Participate. These are always live and interactive. So let me know you're here and say hi. We'll start in just a minute. But thanks for coming. I just got a few things I want to get off my chest and talk it out. So come on in. I'm not going to ask you to share because I don't know where you'd share it. Maybe if you watch it and you think it has value and you know where to share it once I get done, feel free. I'm not telling you not to. Do click like though. Click like and comment. That helps. That helps us get out and it helps me because I like your comments. It's half the reason why I do it. But come on in. We'll start in just a second. Alright guys, welcome back. This is Yankey Rants. This is a rant show where I just get things off my chest, things that are bothering me, and I'm deeply bothered right now. So it should be really easy, but it may be really hard because, as you know, I like to rant, I like to vent, I like to let off steam, but I'm deeply upset. So this could be a little different. And like I say, we'll just get the big one out of the way right up front. There's no reason to dance around it. We'll just face it head on. I'm upset about what just happened Tuesday in this primary, the Democratic primary. For any of you, I know that this is not a political show and we just had a completely cold start. So I'm going to fill you in just in case you don't know. There's an election going on in America right now, a primary, to decide who's going to run against Donald Trump in November for president. You know, the most important job that I can think of. The leader of the free world. So we're deciding who is going to be maybe the next president. And the Democratic Party has waged a full-on war against the average people. That's exactly what this is. This is not an election. Everybody needs to realize that and wake up to that fact right now. What's going on is not an election. This is so much bigger than that. I don't believe in politics. I really don't. This is important, and everybody needs to see what's happening here so that it can succeed, because it must succeed. I'm terrified at this point. Because, and I got to find out some more things. I got to inform myself a little more and see if I should be as worried as I am, because I am a professional warrior. I'm awesome at it. It's one of the things I'm best at. I wish that you could find a way to make money or a career out of worrying. I would be rich. I would be rich beyond my wildest dreams. It would solve all my problems if I could be paid to worry. So I'm very good at it. And I need to really inform myself a little better now that I'm coming back around. I've been punch drunk for days. This was a shock. They spent probably roughly around $1 billion to throw a wrench into our momentum. They didn't manage to do much with it. If you really consider how much they threw at us, they really didn't do much with it. What they came out with was Joe Biden with a slight, tiny delegate lead. And one of the things I need to find out is whether either of them can clinch the nomination at this point. I don't know. I have to do the math on that. But I do know that if we don't, that it will be a brokered convention. And in that instant, they will do what they did in 2016. And that terrifies me. Because at that point, it's going to be, will we allow it? And I'm scared of that answer. I'm really scared of it. Because honestly, we need everybody to care about this. People need to care. An election's being rigged in the United States of America, supposedly the home of democracy. And people see it. The problem isn't that people aren't aware. People are aware and they see it. They talk to me about it all the time. Matter of fact, I hear about it all day now. Man, they're messing your boy Bernie over. Look what they're doing. I told you what they was going to do to your boy. I told you. Or just laughing and mocking me. It's not funny. Where's the punchline? I like to laugh. If it was funny, I would laugh. This is important. This matters. This is not an election. That's why it's got me so upset. I'm deeply emotionally involved in this. Because I see it for what it is. It's an uprising. It's a peaceful revolution. An uprising needs to happen, and it is. If you're not supporting it, what in the hell is wrong with you? Why can't you see that everything is set against this revolution? The enemy of your enemy is your friend. So, we all have the same damn enemy. We're broke up into little groups and little teams and divided in a plethora of different ways to be kept weak. And it frustrates me how well it works. We can't reach across and acknowledge that we're up against the same people. We have the same enemies. We're held down by the same people. You could fit them in this room. It's a handful of names. There's not even that many. They own us. They bought this country. They bought us out. We can't do anything about that unless we rise up by the millions and stand up to them. It's happening right now. And everybody should be involved. It makes me angry, that I can't understand why people see it. They're like, oh, yeah, they're rigging it again. Oh, it's clear as day. But they think it's funny. It's not funny. It's not. It matters. It should matter to everyone. They'll start a war in another country over what they think may be a rigged election. They use that as an excuse to go to war and to intervene in other countries all of the time. They're doing it themselves in this country, and it's not that they don't see it. They just don't care. And that's frustrating. It's frustrating that people don't care enough to get involved. They see it, but they don't care enough. Dennis says it's definitely going to be a contested convention. So I'm not wrong, because I'm worried that no one can clench it at this point. And that's what we needed. We needed to clench it. We needed 1991. 1,991 delegates. That's what we needed. If we go into a broker convention, they will give it to Joe Biden. Declining mental state or not. And this is serious. This is an election. Do you know there's an Operation Chaos? There's a literal Operation Chaos by the Trump campaign to nominate Biden, to vote for him in the primaries. This is something we need to worry about. We need to consider this because they think it's funny. This is a joke. This is serious. This is life or death for some people, literally. 70,000 people a year die from lack of health insurance, health care. This is important. This is crucial. And this greed-driven system can't be continued. It can't carry on. No one's going to stop it but us. So the people rising up is the only thing that can do anything about it. It's happening. Should be involved in it. Clinton says they tried to rig it against Trump and still lost. Dude, I love you, bro, but they did everything to give Trump the presidency. Trump didn't even want to be president, man. You guys are falling for the biggest con in history. And they're running his re-election campaign right now. So if you think that Donald Trump is anti-establishment, you've been fooled in one of the biggest ways imaginable. They love Donald Trump. He's good for them in every way. They are not afraid of losing to Donald Trump. They're afraid of losing to Bernie Sanders. The only real fight going on right now, no matter what anyone, including Q, says, is the Bernie Sanders revolution. That is clear as day. It is the only thing anyone's trying to stop. Look at every person that's is squared off against us to stop us in this. The entire media, the oligarchs, and the entire Democratic establishment. The Republican establishment doesn't need to be vocally against us because they already clearly are. You see what I mean? So it's everyone. That's clear as day. It's not me making it up. It's not. I realize I'm on that side, so you can make the case that, oh, that's just because you feel that way. No, it's clear as day. All the evidence is there. The only person that everyone is trying to stop is Bernie Sanders. And the enemy of your enemy is your friend. The enemy of the powers that be is this revolution. They do not care and are not concerned with 4 more years of Trump. They're running his re-election campaign right now. Clinton, the establishment, ran his campaign, man. They used to film an empty podium for hours. They gave him unlimited free publicity. You're buying into a con, brother. They ran his campaign. They're doing it again. He's a trick pony. And he's got a lot of people fooled. And it's scary. It's scary. It's terrifying. It's almost as terrifying as the fact that they got so many people to vote for a man whose mind is clearly slipping away. Joe Biden isn't well. This isn't funny. This isn't a game. This is serious. My eye's twitching. I don't get it. You got to understand. I see why the right is doing it with this Operation Chaos. I get it, because Bernie is a real threat. He has a huge grassroots movement in place already. Millions of volunteers. It would be very hard to run against. I get it. Biden would be much easier. He's falling apart. He can barely finish his sentence. He's definitely not going to make it through a debate. He can't win. So Clinton, the Democratic Party is willing to run their entire party into the ground, destroy themselves to make sure that we lose. Are they trying to win? Can any case be made for them trying to win? Does anyone think it's believable that Biden and Warren, Biden and Buttigieg, Biden and anyone could beat Donald Trump? Anyone? Does anyone think that's true? Because I don't think they think it is. I don't think they have a chance. Because they don't care. And they would much rather lose to Donald Trump than let any real change happen, which lets you know that no real change will ever happen under Donald Trump. And these massive arrests and all of that stuff is never coming. Dennis says, our hopes and dreams are apparently the punchline of their joke. Never mind the fact that 30,000 to 70,000 people will die annually without a new healthcare system. That's absolutely true. This is life or death. This is, my own grandparents, and I'm sure a lot of yours as well, ration their medicine. And I'm sure there's stories that I was never told about things that they had to sacrifice in order to pay for their pills. It's disgusting how bad we rip people off in the pharmaceutical industry. Everyone should be able to acknowledge that, no matter how you feel politically. Again, politics is just divisive. It's a way to split us up in little groups and keep us weak. We're paying 16 times more up in some cases for prescription medications than they do in other countries. You go to the hospital and you get your bill, and if they gave you an aspirin, they probably charged you $16 for it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's greed to an insane level. And it's killing people. And it has to stop. That's not the only example. You got Jeff Bezos, who made billions of dollars last year. I forget the exact number. Something like his company turned in record profits of like 11 point something. I don't have it off the top of my head. But I do have the amount they paid in taxes off the top of my head. It's not that hard to remember because it's zero. It's zero. Now, this is what you'll hear. You can't make Jeff Bezos pay his taxes. Because if you make Jeff Bezos pay his taxes, he might move Amazon out of the country. And then he take his money and leave and just cash out. I'm so sick of this victim mentality shit. Jeff Bezos has already took his money and left. You're worried about someone leaving the table who's not contributing at all. Let him leave the table. You know how hard it is to not cuss. Someone needs to give me a prize. Because that was a perfect F-bomb. Should have dropped beautifully, and I muted it. So, I'm proud of myself for that. But it's frustrating. Clinton says, the establishment tried everything to stop Trump. Fake dossiers and impeachment hearings. Do you not see it? You think they thought they were going to impeach him? That was done to stop Bernie. That was done to curb our momentum. It was done to keep him occupied in the Senate during the Iowa caucuses and distract the public. They never thought they were going to pass that impeachment. It was a joke from the beginning. This has all been publicity and distraction. That's what Trump's entire presidency has been. And he's distracted you guys beautifully. His actual supporters, he's distracted y'all in the worst way. It's sad. I don't mean it to sound sarcastic. I feel really bad about it. Because I know you guys are good people and you have good heart. The man's a con man and he's a liar. And he's done nothing to show you anything other than that. And you know I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. You know I don't get triggered. He's part of it. Look up, go to Google right now. Take 2 seconds and look up pictures of Michael Bloomberg and Donald Trump. Look up pictures of Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Look up pictures of anyone you want to list off in Donald Trump. He's in the big club that we're all not in. George Carlin's big club. Trump has an exclusive membership to that club, brother. He's part of it. He's in the elite. Hey, Kilo. Kilo says they're not trying to win. They are rich enough to live in their bubble for another 4 years of Trump. We are the ones who suffer. They do not care if they lose to Donald Trump. They're doing nothing to make sure they don't lose. They're not trying to win. You think they're trying to win running a man with dementia? Joe Biden's sick. He's not well. They were trying to win. I think it would look a little different. This is ridiculous. You know how much money is behind this plan? Have you actually looked at... Mike Bloomberg spent $700 million of his own money. Just himself. Then you've got all these other campaigns and all the money that costs. And then all of the propaganda ads that are being ran on TV. This is a ton of money being thrown at just stopping their front runner. They're trying to win. Anybody believes that? They already did win. Trump's in office. Trump was Plan B. That was a rigged election, brother. Completely. Trump was the candidate of choice to run against Hillary. It's in the WikiLeaks. They promoted him. That's the reason why they filmed his empty podium. Why he got so much free publicity. He was to be the opponent for Hillary, and they thought she'd beat him, but they apparently underestimated us. They thought they could rig their primary and then win an election with an unpopular candidate. It really made no sense. So anyone that thinks that Trump overcame something, that was friggin' handed to him, dude. The mainstream media did all they could to sell Hillary Clinton. Even Bernie did. Bernie damaged his brand trying to sell her. Nobody could sell Hillary Clinton. Nobody. Who's the king of propaganda? What's his name? It's not coming to me right now. But no, even he couldn't sell Hillary Clinton. It was an election where a completely unpopular candidate was running against somebody that they gave a priceless amount of free publicity to. They built Donald Trump up. Promoted the hell out of him. They still do. Dennis says they're only trying to protect their financial interest. And they know Bernie would squash that, and then they'd actually have to work for the people or they'd be put out on their ass. See, look, they don't want to pay into society. But like I said, people will argue with me. Oh, they'll just leave. They'll move their company out of the country. They'll take everything away. Well, what did we lose? If Jeff Bezos uproots Amazon and takes it out of the country, what did we really lose? And if we boycott that company, another company will rise up in their place. Do you see what I'm saying? We didn't lose anything. I don't think. I'm not an economics professor. It's probably pretty clear. But if they're paying nothing into society, and they should have paid, with Bernie's tax plan, they would have paid 2.2 something or 2 point something billion in taxes. That much money was left off the table. No one cares. But these same people will get mad at someone on food stamps. Why do we never worry about this? There's no balance there. There's so much more money over here. This is just, it don't even register. If you were to put them next to each other on a graph and make a pie chart out of it, you wouldn't even be able to see where the food stamp sliver was. Somehow this got political. I'm trying to rant. I told you. I told you. It will go sideways because I am upset. Kilo says the reason why Trump won was simply because Hillary was his opponent. That's a lot of it. And free publicity. Kilo says, been looking into that MMT stuff. Bernie's financial advisor gave a lecture on it. Pretty interesting. I've been asked to look into it a bunch of times, but I never have. And a big reason is I'm terrible at math to begin with. So, and I guess I've bought into a little bit of the propaganda where people are calling it the magic money theory. But if you think about it, how does an entity like the Pentagon lose $23 trillion when they only have an annual budget of, well, it's at its peak now and it's $800 billion. So how can you possibly lose $23 trillion on an $800 billion a year budget? There must be a magic money tree. So there must be something that they need to explain, because that's a lot of imaginary money that you just lost. Can't find. And they're open about it. So that's a fact. You can Google that too. And I recommend that you do. But they've lost that much money. And then they say, we can't afford health care. What? Like, that's the other thing. These people that are against what we're doing here, a lot of it's shitty reasons, because they don't want someone else to have something they don't think they're worthy of, or they don't feel like any of this is necessary because they happen to have, I don't know, they're covered or whatever. They've never known anyone in their family who's rationed their medicine, or can't survive financially. They don't know any people like that. I don't know. They don't have empathy. Some people can't fight for people that aren't in the same situation that they are. But it does seem like it's petty reasons. Like I don't want them to have that. You should work hard if you want to have quality health care. I have quality health care. I got a union job. So, that's how I got mine. You should get yours. Well, what would happen if you got really sick? I mean, just out of curiosity, what would happen if you got really sick? I'll wait. How long would it take? How long would it take before you were on the government system? Before you lost your job? Couldn't afford your insurance no more? You just taking a pass on that gamble? You know how when you're playing blackjack at the casino, if they have an ace, they'll ask you to get insurance. You taking a pass on that one? Like, nah, I'm gonna try my luck. I mean, what are the odds, right? But you never see it coming. No one expects it. Kilo says, it's not really to do with math. It's an outlook, how things work, and how certain terms have been distorted. Society has been conditioning us to think of ourselves and how much material things equal wealth, the whole me attitude. Yeah, well, that's what our system is kind of based around. This capitalist system is how much junk can I acquire, and what can I buy for myself, and what can I consume next. Dennis says, Hillary sent the email to her staff and media conglomerates to promote Trump under their Pied Piper strategy. Look it up in the WikiLeaks. I'm telling you, it's there. It backfired in their faces, but the poor and immigrants paid the price. It's funny that people will praise WikiLeaks when the information that I'm telling you, they threw that election. Well, they didn't mean to. They just underestimated how unpopular she was. Severely. and they underestimated the repercussions of rigging their primary. It's just facts. You can't really point to anything and say, well, Trump did this, that's why he won. Didn't do anything brilliant. He didn't do anything new. And I think the most shocked person on election night, well, was probably Melania. They did not want this. I'm sure she was devastated. That sucks for them. Now they gotta be president. She's gotta be first lady. She just wanted to be rich. That's the whole reason why she married that orange narcissist to begin with. And I don't know. I don't want to get into a tirade on Trump. I really don't think about him much. I'm thinking about him more lately than I usually do because I'm realizing that that's what they want. They want 4 more years of Trump. So it's entering my mind that what if they get what they want? Don't really lose anything. I'm not terrified of him because I believe the media spin that he's evil. We don't get anything either, though. Nothing changes. Nothing. And I would love to believe that any of that stuff that they believe Trump's going to do is going to happen. But it's just all nonsense. It's not going to happen. He's friends with these people. Hey, Jack. We're hanging out. We're trying out different times. And I wanted to vent. I'm upset. I'm still upset. This is important, And that brings me to my next little topic while we wait for comments. Let me know anything that's on your mind or anything you want to talk about. But I've decided that being woke, whatever you want to call it, being aware, being well informed, sucks. God, I'm coming to hate it. Like, so what? I'm informed. I can't do anything with it. You know what I mean? We depend on brainwashed sheep to wake up, to become aware, to realize how lied to they are, and to stop listening to it on a regular basis. And it's frustrating because it just seems they're so indoctrinated and brainwashed that they'll never wake up. And you need them. You need enough of them anyway to pull their heads out of their asses and wake up to what's going on and do something about it. It's like watching a horror movie. You see it's happening. You see it's coming. You see them sneaking up on them. You're screaming, but they can't hear you. You're trying so hard to wake people up and get them to understand how bad things are and the situation and the reality. It's frustrating. But that becomes your responsibility. Once you are aware of what's going on and how bad things are, it's now kind of your job to wake people up and inform people. Kilo says Trump craps in a golden toilet. What is his obsession with gold? It's gaudy. That is crazy. He's a special kind of guy. Again, I don't attribute supervillain qualities to the man. I just think he's a narcissist who found himself in a position that he didn't expect to be in. I'm sure he knew there was a chance. Might have even at a certain point realized, hey, I can win this. And thought it was funny. But he was in on it from the very beginning. He was part of the plan. And there's evidence for that. So I think it's just really naive to believe that Trump is anti-establishment when they're showing you in every way that they can that they are quite comfortable staying with Donald Trump. Kilo says, how is he going to know anything about the common struggles of the people? He doesn't. He doesn't. You know, Howard Stern used to play this game on the air where they would ask him like questions about what's a gallon of milk cost, what's a subway token cost, what's this or that, regular everyday items. He didn't know what any of it cost. He had no idea. And these people are so much more wealthy than a Howard Stern. So they don't know. They can't relate. They don't comprehend. Like a person like a Trump or a Bloomberg, they don't. He doesn't care, and that's what's scary. That's the only supervillain quality that I would attribute to Trump, is because he's so effective. Is he'll say anything. He doesn't care. It's just sad to me. Because I see people that I respect that are fooled by it. They really believe there's some secret plan and Trump's going to take down the deep state and the establishment, and he's against the evil in the world, and he's going to surprise us all. It's the saddest thing ever. They're waiting on a plan that's never going to happen. And he plays up to it. He's an ass. So that would be a supervillain quality that I could attribute to him. He's very good at playing the people. He makes a very good boogeyman. And that's all he is. And I don't know why everybody doesn't see it. It's frustrating, because I think it's clear as day. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. I'll tell you that much. That's how it usually is. For whatever reason, what it really is these people just want to believe. They want to believe. I get it. That's your team. You ideologically align with that team, so you want to believe it has a hero. So I don't think you're bad people. I think a lot of good people actually are on that side of the fight, unfortunately. But I just think they're misled. Dennis says, I told my wife the other day I wish I could go back to not caring about politics. It consumes my life now, and it only depresses me knowing how bad we're getting screwed over. Dude, I've become obsessed myself. I know exactly what you mean. But again, and you probably understand this part, I don't care about politics. I understand the system's rigged. I understand it's deeply corrupt. I understand it needs to be changed and torn down and rebuilt from the ground up. It doesn't work. I believe in this revolution, so I have to get into politics, which is bullshit, because politics is some of the dirtiest stuff I've ever paid attention to. And it should make everybody disgusted, the state of our democracy. But no, they see it. And they're just like, oh man, they're really screwing your boy over. That's the best you're going to get. That's the best. Mostly they think it's funny. And whether they're blue, no matter who, people that think it's funny, or Trump supporters that think it's funny. I don't understand what's funny about undermining democracy. I don't get the joke. And if you're a true patriot, you really care about this country and about democracy, then this should matter to you. It should matter to everybody, no matter what side you're on. Because it's ignorant to ignore it just because they're not attacking your group right now. Because when they come for you, there'll be no one to fight for you. Do you see? It needs to be important that it's happening. Steve says it's so unreal. Biden has dementia and nobody cares. Joe Rogan did a show on it a few minutes ago. Oh, I got to check it out. I love Rogan. It's insanity, Steve. It's scary. And they're going to minimize how much he gets to talk now. Watch. They're already eliminating debates, and they're going to try and make it to where he doesn't talk much at all. They're going to do the best they can to hide how sick that man is. He's falling apart mentally. And I got to listen to Rogan's take on it because I've been mulling it over. I'm very concerned. This is deeply concerning, and everybody should care. And again, I realize there's an Operation Chaos on the right. It's a real thing to get Biden nominated. It's a threat. We need to take it seriously. This is a real thing where Trump supporters have decided to vote for Biden in these primaries to get Biden nominated so that Biden with dementia has to run against Donald Trump, and they think it's going to be hilarious. Of course, a huge bonus is they stop our revolution and stop the fact that Bernie would trounce Trump. And they know that. They understand that. In a fair and on the up and up system, we would dominate. Because there's more of us. That's why it's so important to get us to back down, to break us, to break our spirit. And that's what Tuesday was about, more than anything else. They had to break our spirit. They need to break enough of us. They need to get us to quit. They need to get us to back down. They need to get us to stop believing and start accepting that it's impossible. See, Dennis? Literally every show I try to do turns into a daily burn. I become obsessed. But I don't, and that's the other part of it. I don't care about politics. It disgusts me when I got to talk about any of the political part of this. I wish that Americans were awake and aware enough to just rise up on their own. But they're not. Yes, Steve, I will share the Rogan show, the interview or the show about Biden's mental state. Was that the whole episode, man? That would be cool if he really focused on it. Or I'll have to pinpoint the clip and pull it out so that it can be highlighted. Kilo says, I think some believe in Trump to rationalize their own messed up ideology. Well, a lot, yeah. A lot of them. And then, again, like I was saying earlier, a lot of it is the petty stuff. The petty, I don't want you to have it. I hear that a lot. They don't deserve it. This and that, whatever. There's always someone that they feel is below them or less than and doesn't deserve whatever. Their problem with healthcare isn't that it's a good or bad idea. It's that person would get it, and they don't think that person needs to have it. So, yeah, there's a lot of the messed up ideology stuff. Yes, Steve, that's exactly right. Not only that, but they are already prepping the Russia excuses and trying to say that Russia is helping Bernie Sanders' campaign. But when Biden loses to Trump, they'll just blame burners in Russia and whatever else they got to blame to try and save enough face to keep the Democratic Party alive. But hopefully it won't be enough. I don't want it to get to that point, and no one should. We need to overwhelm them. We need to win this. This is not an election. This is not political. Politics is divisive. It's meant to break you up. It's the reason why we can't have a discussion where we talk about our common enemy and how to defeat them. Because everybody's got to break up in their little teams, argue and debate every little issue, and then each team is broke up into sub-teams to the point where we can't accomplish a damn thing. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. But I wanted to see if I could rant a little bit and feel better. I don't feel very good. Honestly, concerned. It concerns me that people are taking this like this again. And that so many people aren't as upset about it. It should matter. Like I said, we've used this as excuses to go to war, to intervene in other countries. We're supposed to be a democracy. You're taught that since you were little. It's one of the things that's supposed to be beautiful about this country. And you're watching it be undermined. And how is everyone not furious? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. And it's bad because it kind of makes you lose faith in humanity, which I don't want to do. You don't want to become jaded to the point where you just don't believe. I worry though. I'm worried about how stupid people actually are and how much people will actually tolerate and how much it will actually take to get people to wake up, to get people to care. Kilo says, I can relate to how you're feeling, man. I'm pissed and bummed too. I'm upset. I'm worried more than anything. It just concerns me because I wanted to see a different reaction. I get that it's early, but these people that are just like ha 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 and or don't care but still see it, they concern me. It has me worried because I realize what's at stake and how big this is and how big a deal it is. And I realize that it must happen. And I just wonder sometimes how far they'd go, what lengths they'll go to. Doesn't seem to be any limits to it. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for watching. And I wanted to leave it feeling better. But I think I'm right. I don't think anybody can clench the nomination at this point, can they? Someone let me know if I'm right or wrong about that. I'm going to find out. I got to remember to use this little computer that lives in my pocket, where I can find out pretty much anything I want to know at any time, but I never remember to use it. I need to do that. I mean, I'm literally a cyborg walking around with the ability to find out anything I want. And I'm too lazy sometimes to figure things out. But thanks for hanging out. This was Yankey Rants, and we'll give this thing a regular time. We're going to experiment. I wanted to see if around 3:30 was a good time. It seemed to do okay, but I think later on is probably better. I just like being able to use the daylight. I usually have such a problem with lighting. The lighting's so great, right? Everything looked good. So it's a good time of day for lighting. Anyways. Kilo says there's a Bernie rally later. Probably at 7. Probably right during the daily burn. Bernie loves to mess up a Friday daily burn. Friday is my favorite daily burn. And it's usually the hottest burn. So you've seen Bernie talk already. No, I'm just kidding. I know I can't compete with Bernie. So I guarantee you it's at 7 that it starts. I'll have to find out, but it usually is. For some reason, Bernie likes to go live when I go live. So I'm going to have to start directly competing with Tim Black because I avoid him. That's what I was doing. I was trying not to go live when he was live. But I'm going to have to try to avoid Bernie now because Bernie's a bigger threat. But I will see you guys later on tonight for the Daily Burn. But so come back for that. And thanks for hanging out. This has been Yankey Rants. And like and subscribe to the channel if you're here on YouTube. But we'll see you later. Thanks for watching, guys.